is Cherelle Griner interview. Marker.
Cherelle, thank you so much for being with me today. I first want to just congratulate you in this bittersweet moment because May 7th, you graduated cum laude from North Carolina Central University, one of the 6 remaining HBCU law schools. And it's bittersweet because there's someone who's been your biggest cheerleader who was not able to participate in that graduation and not be there for you. And of course, I'm talking about Brittney Griner, your wife. How are you?
Thank you, first and foremost. You know, I'm okay because I have to be okay. But in reality, like, I'm not well, you know, to not have BG's presence, you know, there. I've known BG, you know, 11 years, so she knew, you know, day one as me being a poli-sci major at Baylor that I wanted to be a lawyer, you know, so we've been in this for a minute together, and so she's been there every step of the way for the 3 years, and so I'm blessed she was able to be there year 1, 2, and 3, but it was definitely disheartening that she wasn't there for the finish line.
I know you've got to relive this day so much, but for folks who don't really know what happened, can you take us back to February 17th?
I woke up, I want to say around like 5 a.m. I was in our home in Phoenix, thinking I'm just gonna wake up, get a message from BG, I landed in Russia, babe, you know. But that was not the case. I had messages on my phone from BG, about 50 messages, like it was just, babe, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, hello, 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 wake up. I'm like, what are they saying they're charging you? And, you know, I go into like lawyer mode. I'm like, well, what are they saying to you? You know, and I'm like, did they tell you? I'm like, they just can't grab you and not tell you something. And, you know, she's there for hours and they don't say anything, you know?
What was the last thing she said to you before she left for Russia?
It's the irony of all of it, you know? She didn't want to go back. So she just said she was so exhausted from always having to go overseas. And we talked about it and I was like, well, you know what, babe? Like, I was like, let's just make this your last year overseas then. I was like, you don't have to go back anymore. I was like, we'll figure something else out, you know, when it comes to pay, because obviously there is a tremendous difference in the amount of money that she makes when she's playing WNBA versus when she goes overseas. And so that's why it's been something that like she had to do. If the WNBA paid BG what she makes overseas and treated her the way she's treated overseas, she wouldn't go.
When was the last time you spoke to Brittney?
The last time that I've heard my wife's voice was actually February 17th.
How is she doing? And how do you know?
Exactly. I don't truly know.
Yes.
I'm in a position of complete vulnerability right now. I have to trust people that I didn't even know until February the 17th. So I'm trusting, you know, her lawyers to, you know, tell me when they go see her, how is she? You know, it's the first question I ask, how is she? How does she look? You know, how is her spirit? How is her energy? But the truth of the matter is, because I haven't heard her voice myself, I don't 100% know. But I am being told that, you know, she's doing okay.
So a week after Brittney was detained, Russia invades Ukraine.
That almost killed me, actually. I was terrified what that meant. Am I ever going to see her again? Initially, that was the first thing that probably popped in my mind when that happened. I thought that was it. I'm like, I'm really never going to see her again.
Is she being used as a political pawn?
Yes, yes.
If it was LeBron or KD or Steph Curry, do you think that you would be sitting here today?
You know, respectfully, and no, you know, no shade to them when I say this, but the answer to that question would be no. I don't, and I just think, you know, it's because we do live in a world that, you know, the bigger the platform, the bigger the urgency. And, you know, because of the difference in that WNBA platform and that NBA platform, it's going to be a difference in urgency.
The players who are in the NBA that, as you talked about earlier, sometimes have a larger platform. It's not fair, but it's what it is. What do you think some of the players can be doing to be helpful right now?
In my opinion, honestly, exactly what Chris Paul was doing. It blew my mind when I saw him walk in, you know, and my wife on his body. You know, I hate that, you know, we are here. But things like that they help, they matter. You know, his platform is humongous. And so for him to, you know, use it in that way to, you know, show support, like, it meant the world to me. And I know it's going to mean the world to BG. She doesn't even know about any of this stuff, to my knowledge, you know, because I don't know if she can see this type of stuff. But one day she will, you know, because I have so much faith that we're going to get her back. And so, you know, speaking for her, I know she would care, and I definitely care.
I'm curious to know how hopeful you are.
To be very honest, as the days went by from the initial day of February the 17th, I think for like that first week, 2-week mark, I was extremely hopeful because in my mind, I'm like, this is Brittney Griner. So for me, I was so hopeful because I'm just like, they're gonna go get her. She's wrongfully grabbed. They're gonna go get her. Our president is going to, you know, wake up and see that this is a big deal and that he can actually do something about it.
Have you spoken to the president?
I have not.
Not met with him?
No, have
So
not.
if you had the opportunity, Cherelle, today to say something to President Biden, what would you say?
If he is a person that can get my person back, I would love to meet him. You know, I have requested a meeting with him, and so I hope he accepts in the near future, you know, to meet with me because I want my person back. You know, I feel every second that BG's not here. You know, most people are counted by the days, but it's not days for me. Like, okay. Okay, I need a second.
Okay, that's okay. Take your time.